Joseph Louis Lagrange was a very smart man. He was born in Italy in 1736. His family was not rich, but they wanted him to study. When he was young, he liked math very much. He read many books about math and learned a lot by himself. He was so good at math that he became a teacher when he was only 19 years old. Lagrange worked hard and wrote many papers about math. People liked his work. He solved many difficult problems. One of his most famous works was about the movement of the moon. He wanted to understand why the moon moves the way it does. This was a very hard problem, but he found a way to explain it using math. In 1766, Lagrange moved to Berlin, Germany. He was invited by the King of Prussia to work at the Berlin Academy of Sciences. He stayed there for 20 years. During this time, he wrote many important papers. He worked on problems in math, physics, and astronomy. He also studied the motion of planets and how they move around the sun. His work helped scientists understand the solar system better. Lagrange was very good at finding patterns in numbers and shapes. He created new ways to solve problems. One of his most famous ideas is called the Lagrange multiplier. This is a method used to find the maximum or minimum values of a function. It is still used today in many fields like economics, engineering, and physics. In 1787, Lagrange moved to Paris, France. He was invited by King Louis XVI to work at the French Academy of Sciences. He became a French citizen and lived in Paris for the rest of his life. In Paris, he continued to work on math and physics. He also helped create the metric system, which is a way to measure things like length, weight, and volume. The metric system is used in many countries today. Lagrange was a very quiet and humble person. He did not like to argue or fight with others. He preferred to work alone and think deeply about problems. He was respected by many people, including other scientists and kings. He received many awards for his work, but he never boasted about his achievements. One of Lagrange's most important books is called Analytical Mechanics. In this book, he explained how to use math to understand the movement of objects. He showed that the laws of motion could be written in a very simple and elegant way using math. This book was very influential and helped many scientists in the future. Lagrange also worked on the theory of numbers. He studied prime numbers, which are numbers that can only be divided by 1 and themselves. He tried to find patterns in prime numbers, but this is a very hard problem. Even today, mathematicians are still trying to understand prime numbers better. During the French Revolution, Lagrange was worried about his safety. Many people were arrested or killed during this time. But because he was so respected, he was not harmed. He continued to work and teach during this difficult period. After the revolution, he helped create a new school called the École Polytechnique. This school was very important for training scientists and engineers. Lagrange was also interested in the foundations of calculus. Calculus is a type of math that deals with change and motion. It was invented by Isaac Newton and Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz. Lagrange wanted to make calculus more rigorous and precise. He wrote a book called Theory of Analytic Functions, where he tried to explain calculus in a new way. In his later years, Lagrange became very interested in the history of math. He studied the works of ancient mathematicians like Euclid and Archimedes. He wanted to understand how math had developed over time. He believed that learning from the past could help improve math in the future. Lagrange died in 1813 in Paris. He was 77 years old. Even though he is no longer alive, his work is still very important. Many of the ideas he developed are used in modern science and engineering. He is considered one of the greatest mathematicians of all time. Lagrange's life shows us that hard work and curiosity can lead to great discoveries. He spent his whole life learning and solving problems. He never gave up, even when the problems were very difficult. His work has helped us understand the world better and has made many modern technologies possible. Today, Lagrange is remembered in many ways. There is a crater on the Moon named after him. There is also a type of math called Lagrangian mechanics that is based on his ideas. Many schools and universities teach his methods to students. His legacy continues to inspire new generations of scientists and mathematicians. In conclusion, Joseph Louis Lagrange was a brilliant mathematician who made many important contributions to science. He worked on problems in math, physics, and astronomy. He created new methods and ideas that are still used today. He was a quiet and humble person who loved learning. His life and work remind us of the power of curiosity and the importance of never stopping to ask questions. Lagrange's work in math and science has had a lasting impact on the world. His ideas are used in many areas, from space exploration to building bridges. He showed that math is a powerful tool for understanding the universe. His dedication to learning and solving problems is an example for everyone. We can all learn from his life and strive to be curious, hardworking, and humble. Joseph Louis Lagrange will always be remembered as one of the greatest minds in history. His contributions to math and science have changed the way we see the world. His story teaches us that with passion and perseverance, we can achieve great things. The legacy of Joseph Louis Lagrange continues to inspire people around the world. His work reminds us that the pursuit of knowledge is one of the most important journeys in life. Through his discoveries, he has left a mark on the world that will never be forgotten. Joseph Louis Lagrange was not just a mathematician. He was a thinker, a problem solver, and a pioneer. His life is a testament to the power of the human mind and the endless possibilities of learning. We are all fortunate to benefit from the work of this extraordinary man. His story is a reminder that even the most complex problems can be solved with patience and creativity. Joseph Louis Lagrange's brilliance will continue to light the way for future generations of scientists and thinkers.